back we go.
Oh boy.
I've lost any feeling about you asking about my age. I didn't know that. Now, this will amuse you because of some of your problems. Let me just ask you, have you ever been told or know what the People's Institute was? You know. So, when I came down there as a youngster, not married, and wanting to do something for the people, as I told you, partly under the influence of Walt Lippmann's friendship, partly because I think it's been somewhat a family feeling, do something for the others. I had a letter to Fred Howe, head of the People's Institute, who later became Commissioner of Immigration. And he was thrilled because the People's Institute was doing all these new things, new experiments in public schools, but they had not done anything with music. And I had just played at Cooper Union with a young 10-year-old violinist who at 18 played in Carnegie Hall, Max Rosen. And at that point, I had no intention of becoming a pianist permanently, but I was able to be one. And I was so thrilled by this audience of immigrants who were coming over in droves at that point. Therefore, we had Ellis Island full, you know, that whole stuff. So I went down to see Fred Howe, the head of it, and I said, I think we could have concerts in public schools in the evenings, free. There were no movies at that time. There were practically no organizations except an occasional band concert in the spring. Well, we started. For 10 years, I was chairman of this People's Music League, and it went.
I didn't realize it was that long. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yes. Now this will amuse you, the headlines of that. You don't need to read it all. I'm only showing you highlights today.
Oh my Lord, that's great.
Amazing.
I thought that would amuse you.
There's a lady conductor too. Can you see that?
A lady conductor.
Look at that, a lady conductor.
New York Symphony Orchestra. I don't know who that could have been. The concerts were given by Walter Damrosch at one point. Yeah. Now here you'll see where the People's Music League, which I then organized, and when we gave concerts, sometimes 100 in a year, sometimes 400 or 500 in a year, because we went all over the city, free, until the 10th year. This is where we nearly got part of the Juilliard.
Oh, that's right, you told me that.
I told you about that.
You might have ended up making the people in the Juilliard not too happy with you.
Huh?
The people of the Juilliard may have been not too happy with you.
Well, you know, it was a Baptist minister who sat in on the first Juilliard explosion after his death. And then it was turned over to John Erskine. And Erskine decided they should have a Juilliard Hall. And that took some of the millions. And then came the stadium and the open-air concerts. And this is old Adolph Lewis and me. By that time I'd married. And when Lewison gave the stadium to the city of New York, there was the famous remark that he made at the opening night.
You don't remember this, it's been torn
No,
down
I don't.
since you got here, but I spent a lot of time in that Lewison stadium.
Well, I
as a
thought
child.
all of this would interest you.
Oh, fascinating. My father used to take me during the summer. For 25 cents you can get the New York Philharmonic.
Yes.
Just great. It was
That's
an important part of my In the summer, yeah.
In the summer, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one of the famous lines that they made, that he made at the opening. Volpe was the conductor, and Volpe made a speech. And
Who was the conductor?
Arnold Volpe. He was a mediocre man, but he was all right. And he made a speech to open this great stadium, which Lewison had given the land. And just say, oh, let her answer. Let her answer. Put down. I told her I wasn't going to. And Volpe said, and now you will hear from the owner of the stadium. He had already given the land, to which Lewison, the old man, got up and said, not the owner, but the donor.
That's cute.
Well, this is where music began to be among the unions and all those articles which explain it and describe it, and among the people which a band
800 garment workers, and there's that 800 garment workers, yeah.
Garment workers. Oh, we delved into everything through these concerts. Now this
There's that
brings
pretty picture of you. Claire H. Raphael.
Yeah, I wasn't married then. I was just exploring the world. Now this I want to show you because this is really the beginning of the League of Composers, and that will interest you. As a result of our 10th year anniversary in Cooper Union and in all these public schools, I decided I had met a few composers. They were a mixture from a man named Szymanski, who ran the choir of Temple Emmanuel.
Lazar Szymanski? No.
Lazar Szymanski. To Deems Taylor and Rebecca, whatever her name was, who's still alive, and someday I must call her up, really, and talk.
Frederick Jacobi, are these names are...
Well,
known
these
to
were
me.
composers I knew, but the Cooper Union had never seen a group of live composers on the stage. And they went wild with joy. And as a result, Varese came to see me to get him out of debt and out of his little society. And for a year I did it, and then there was that explosion, and then came the League. So that's that history. Now, I don't know
It's all
if...
prehistory of the League, in a
The
way.
prehistory, this is the prehistory. The rest had nothing to do with it. Till I had that concert to celebrate the 10th year of the People's Music League. Now, I don't know whether photographs are going to come in to any of your, they are?
Well, I think you should also know the city university has another project. We are full of projects.
Good. I would expect it of you.
The other project is co-directed by Emmanuel,
Oh,
and it's called...
this is interesting.
Didn't he tell you about it?
No, but I haven't told him about it.
It's called
Life's too short.
REDEEM, and it has a French acronym which says Répertoire International d'Iconographie Musicale. And its function is to gather, catalog, and make available musical documents of visual nature. That is, reproductions of paintings, photographs, sculpture, and so on, which are all cataloged. So if anyone is interested in the history of any concert hall, any organization, any instrument, any group of performers, the history of the concert in the 16th century, how a harpsichord may have looked in paintings and sculpture and literature and engravings. We are in the process in this project called REDEEM, R-I-D-I-M, Répertoire International.
Repertoire International.
D'iconography, D apostrophe.
D iconography.
Musical. And we have a center called the Research Center for Musical Iconography, where all photographic, all iconographic materials are being gathered and cataloged and made available for scholarly purposes. So that if anyone is interested, for example, in Monteverdi and what information has been gathered about any Monteverdi operas or Monteverdi, or anyone is interested in a contemporary composer, we haven't yet built up much in the contemporary portrait line, but we have a lot of portraits.
You have a lot.
Yeah.
So this kind of
thing
photograph
is perfect.
where you'll find very few who have kept all of this. And why I did, I can't answer. But anyway, it's available when you want it. All
Well,
right.
it would seem to me that it's just the kind of thing that should go into the archive by either photographing. You see, we have a photographic processing. We have a photographic processing center down there. They take various documents and they photograph it for us, and then we put it on catalog cards. I'll send you some stuff about that.
I really wish you would. I'm interested, and I'm delighted to hear that Emmanuel...
Because it all goes together.
It does.
Letters, photographs, oral history,
Yes.
newspaper accounts,
Yeah.
archival documents. All of these things are absolutely of a piece. The idea of oral history is that you're getting the immediate personal reaction and comment and view of the individual. The rest of it is quite different, because the rest of it is dead. You know, it's static.
Right.
And you cannot really build on it or ask questions about it
No.
or probe, further information.
No.
It's just there.
Yeah, it's just there, and
It's there. Yeah.
if it's there, then you then have to organize it properly so people can use it,
Well-
Where in all of New York or the United States are those things indexed so someone can say, well, in Musical America in 1919, there was a picture of 12 composers, and some of them have probably been either forgotten or there are no photographs of them, but there they are.
Right.
Now, if we took that document, we'd probably take every one of those, reproduce it, put it on a catalog card so that anyone would be able to have it.
Well, now, please send me this material
I
soon.
certainly will.
For two reasons. One, of course, I want to have it, and one, no more.
I personally, and I think to some extent you are,
Yeah.
the overall history of the
That's
development
what
of
I
modern
think.
music
Oh, yes.
in the city of New York, in the area around New York.
And
That, I
not
think,
only
is,
the
in the
history
long
of modern
run,
music,
very
it's
significant.
what I have felt, and this is why what I said to Claire that brought this right back to your door. I have always felt a very strong sociological interest in our musical development. I don't see how one can really separate it any more than you separate some of the sciences
Well, that, of
from
course,
the
is what-
humanities today. They go together. But every now and then you come up against a block. And this is the first time that I've really even exposed, I might say, all these pictures to any musicologists or musicians. They've just been in my file. Now here's where we'll come up against the kind of a problem that you'll say, well, now where does this belong? We're going to take Ernest Bloch as the example. What do you want, some more crack?
No, I like to check every so often to make sure
Oh,
that it's turning.
I didn't think
No, I
we
forget
were
about it, too.
talking to a public today. I thought I was just talking to two of you. But I really need your point of view on this. And I don't disregard what you may say to me, but I want a rather clear picture,
Well,
particularly
I think
working with two
Claire, I
people.
should add that sociology is, of course, one of the prime aspects of musicology that I'm interested in. I've
Yeah.
given seminars in music and sociology.
Yes.
for the past 3 years. I've given one each year. And I'm giving one starting in February. But this deals with the sociology of music in the 18th century. But we will be dealing with sociological theory in general and applying it to the 18th century. So that you see, it seems to me that in order to understand how music functions in society, we need the help of sociological theoretical thought, which is something that musicologists, as a rule, have been too busy doing something else to pay attention to.
I felt that you would take that point of view, and I've taken it in the past, and then why they get into city center? Because LaGuardia knew what I was doing in the parks as part of the League's work during the war. And he not only heard about that, but he heard about my work with the People's Music League earlier, and so I got one of those 15 famous telegrams, come down and let me tell you about this great building on 55th Street. Now, to come back to this is
what... It used to be Mecca Temple, you see, because he's not a New Yorker, so...
Well, although he knows an awful lot of... and I'll answer when I can. Now, Barry, here's where I come to the point that of what I think are crossroads are going to be difficult. As a result of Ernest Bloch, whom I consider one of our very fine American composers born in Switzerland, I knew him when he first came to New York, and he was extremely unhappy teaching at one of the music schools. I think it was Mannes, but he was unhappy. And one day talking to him, I said, what do you really want to do to get out of this kind of a rut you feel you're in? Well, he said, you've done this work with the people, the People's Music League. I would like to conduct a group of a chorus downtown in Palestrina. So we formed, because I had the ability at that time to connect with the mass action and the musicians, and we formed a chorus who came out of pure joy to be under a great musician. And Ernest Bloch would go down to 14th Street, where we found a room. And Paul Rosenfeld wrote this article called Palestrina on 14th Street.
What year was that about?
And it was published in The Nation at that time. Reprinted in the New Republic, I made a mistake, March 8th, 1919. Now there's where, as I say, you cross roads between getting a group from anywhere, and when he lacked a tenor, or for an evening, and he knew he was going to need one for all, he'd say to that wonderful Suzanne, whom you know, now you come down and just sing the tenor spot.
Suzanne Bloch singing tenor?
And she filled in as a youngster wherever she was needed. Now, I have no copy to give you of this, but...
Well, at a certain point, we'll probably...
It's just...
If we can borrow that, we may make copies of it.
Yes. Well, it's the kind of thing that I mean, where do we draw the line between the musical and the sociological?
There is no way of doing it. They are intertwined.
All right. So if I should go on talking, may I say Jeffrey, and
sure.
You can say Claire, more about this.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
You may. I like my name. As Claire likes hers.
It's my favorite name.
It should be.
Name, you know.
Did she tell you?
You know, I have 3 favorite Claires. You know
Oh, have you 3 now? I'm getting jealous. Who's the third?
Claire Brook, Claire Bloom, and Claire Reis.
Oh, well, I'm perfectly willing to be the third of that list. Did she tell you about the Claire and my my book of, oh well, I won't go into that right now. But she suddenly saw a book of mine, Henry VIII, written by, I lost his name for the moment, but you know it. And she said to me, "What are you doing with a book like that?" In here. And I said, "Well, I have autographed books in here as well as musical." This was Henry VIII. And turned out she had a great feeling about this man, Francis. Oh,
Let's see, it's up.
it's right up there. Hackett, Francis Hackett,
I knew
from
it.
the days of the nation. And
Yeah.
I had gotten to know him very well, and he makes a point in his autograph about the name Claire suiting me. And she said, "Well, there you are. I guess that's why I loved him so much without knowing."
Well, she's an English history nut, just as I'm a French history nut.
Oh, she is
Claire
a
has the most incredible knowledge about French kings.
English.
I mean, English kings.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
And you have
And-
the French.
Well, I've not as much as she has the English. She was a charter member of the society known as the Friends of Richard III.
Oh, no.
Were much maligned.
How strange. Well, this is interesting. I've got to know more about that. Well, now, I just put these things together to show you the kind of example that troubles me. Where do I stop, you see, in the middle of this? I happen to have a part in the stadium for the year that that Lewison, who gave the stadium, the donor and the owner, son was a trustee of the People's Institute. And when he saw that we had really done a good job for our 10 years, he said the stadium ought to be under the People's Institute. Well, this hurt Minnie Guggenheimer's feelings, and I didn't care a rap about it. I did go around once with one of the money raisers to help launch it. But I took part in it for a year, and then gradually she went on with it. But these are things that happened and programs. Now, a pageant of all the nations, I've often thought about the fact that we know so little about what goes on in this country. And sociologically, you've got to remind me to tell you the story of why the Poles would not come out because they wouldn't walk behind the Russians. Now, this is way, way back. So we put this aside. I just wanted you to see the type of thing that exists. These were the little pamphlets showing the schools, and I'll tell him more detail of what went on in the music at that time, because there's no use taking your time on that.
Now, well, you see, this kind of thing which represents the history of the musical life in New York,
Right.
a very important aspect of it,
Yes, of course.
is the kind of thing that would be most...
And don't think we who were involved don't forget until you pull up something. I had completely forgotten, and I have a pretty good memory, but I'd completely sort of put it aside, the fact that we came so near to having some of the Juilliard money. And
Yeah.
then when I just rediscovered that, I thought, now, what would my life have been? How different if we had done something else.
Sure, it would have been entirely different.
Entirely different.
Your energies would have been channeled completely different.
Completely. Now, here comes something else that deals with the public, the arts as well. I wasn't only just married, but I had 2 children at this stage at Lincoln School. And I formed a committee to help organize weekends for youngsters. And it turned into a book which Teachers College published. And it was such a success because every parent...
Book of yours?
I was the editor of a group.
I see, that's a book that we didn't know about. We thought we knew
No,
about all your
nobody,
books.
nobody
Right.
knows about that side of my
That's not the
life.
one you find in the music library.
You see,
That's
we
funny.
got out these cards. We had a second edition within 3 months because everybody wanted to know what to do with their children on weekends. They were all, you know, it was that stage. Now, the interesting part about that, to me, always was that the one section we could not touch for children were the dance schools. They were immoral. and so we had to leave them out.
Right.
Well, as a result of that, I received this, which you can read more clearly in that. I'm showing off now. And Fosdick was the chairman of that. Now this I wouldn't bring up, Barry, if I didn't think
Yeah.
if I didn't think that it belongs in the development of the humanities at that time.
I think that.
Huh?
Yes.
Now,
And
this I don't
think
think would be of interest to Vivian, to go back to my problem of split personality. But I do think it is of interest to you, to your...
Yeah, that's true, but it is a little bit of a problem. I think it would have made more sense if Vivian called me, and then we wouldn't have to have you worried about...
Well, all right, I can easily ask her to do that.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, of course, that we are interested in the contemporary, the world of contemporary composition. I mean, Jeffrey's a composer, and he's involved in this project because he's concerned with music in our time. So that, when you speak of Bloch, for example, well...
Speak of
Bloch.
Bloch, yes.
Well, his work as a conductor and a composer are in a way intertwined. It would be very hard to separate them.
I agree with you about that. Also, what's difficult for me in thinking ahead for a little preparation to make the most of our time is at what point do we begin? I mean, the League began in 23, but before then, and before I had my Macmillan books, the American Composers in America, I had done a private, so-called private catalog for the International Society for Contemporary Music, and got money from the Juilliard to do a second one on a larger scale, which brought me then to the first hardcover book that Macmillan did.
So the first is called American Composers of Today, first edition September 1930, published by the ISCM. The second one, American Composers, second edition, September 1932, International Society of Contemporary Music
And
as
these
well.
are precursors of Composers in America, of the later...
Of the
Yes.
of the Macmillan books.
Right.
There were two of those, the Macmillan books.
There were two editions?
Two editions.
Yes.
You see, I had a lot of luck. I call it, just as Aaron says, luck. My first edition was 1938.
Yeah, that was 6 years, the very first thing was 30, 32, and then that.
And then that. Then
38.
48. No, not 38, yes. 38, I forgot the first. Anyway, who's the man who gave so much money to see that the libraries were rehabilitated after the war? Our politician.
Our politician?
Senator. I
Oh.
can't think of his name.
A senator in...
One of our great senators. Well, anyway, he made a great point of getting our books on America to Europe. And Macmillan, who then was the old big Macmillan of the old days, insisted on my hurrying to start a second edition, which I did on a larger scale, because they used up the first so fast in buying it for Europe. So I say that I call luck. Well, now to get to the composers.
Yeah, so this, of course, is
This
is a great fascination to me.
This is a fascination. Well, this is to date of, I have no date on this particular. These are most of the composers whose works or letters or material I gave to the library. Before I do that, I just
fabulous
like
exhibition. That
it
exhibition.
was. Now, did you ever see this? These are excerpts of letters that Everett Helm put together in Musical America.
Never, I don't remember seeing
You
it,
don't
because I
remember
may have seen
seeing
it at
it.
the time, but
This is amazing. Everybody. This has everybody.
everybody,
Well,
that's right.
Now, I
Pretty
can
clear.
say again, I'm very fortunate in the friendship that the library at Lincoln Center has shown me. They put it the other way around and say I'm very special because I did so many things in giving them this collection and pictures and whatnot. But as a result, and they, as they said, don't think that others are not going to ask me for the same. We can't do it for everybody. But they Xeroxed for me,
Every letter.
not every letter, because I didn't want them when I asked for this. I could get the rest. But I intended to start a book this year, but you people interrupted me.
It should be done.
Now, I want to ask you about City Center. It's always been a great problem. My being on their board made me prod at times, which I could because I was doing a lot of other work to help them launch it. I never did really much until I got Morton working on the American composers. And when I had Rogers giving commissions for symphonic works for the League, I finally got to him, much though he disapproved for a while, to say, all right, instead of a symphonic work to commission, I'll commission an opera. And in the back of my mind was that I had talked to Copland and said, Aaron, if I could get a commission from Rogers next year or the year after for an opera, would you do it? And Aaron said, yes. Well, I had a struggle with Rogers. He really didn't want an opera. After all, he's a musical opera man.
Right.
But he gave in, and Tender Land was the result. Now, nobody, I wouldn't say nobody, but the average audience doesn't realize that the value of that work has come out back as a symphonic work. And when I ran the 20th and then I ran the 25th anniversaries for City Center, I sent a letter to all the major orchestras, and I said it would be interesting to know which works we've performed. You see, we've done Hoggen Best by then, and Beeson and who not. And I said, I'd like to have the list of works you've performed, which we have given as operas, and you have given as symphonic suites. And believe it or not, it was Tender Land that got the far more performances around the country. Now, I'm not being just prejudiced for Aaron. This was the fact.
Well, it's fascinating that you were the catalyst for that piece. Probably, if not for that commission, it never would have been written.
Well, maybe.
Right.
Had I known that he was going to take such a bad librettist, I would have stopped there too. Well,
Good. I think that we have come to an understanding.
Yes.
yes, I do too.
And I think it's enough in one shot. you
Yeah.
know. it might make sense to plan for another meeting